Hey, welcome to the Brisbane Small Business Show, or BSB TV, we may as well even call it. So today I'm really excited. I've got Leanne Butterworth on the line here having a chat with me. Now, Leanne is really awesome. She runs a whole series of her businesses all around building connection.
Yes, I do. Hi, Kevin.
How you going?
Good.
Now, not everybody watches the Raw and Raw TV, so they won't know what we're talking about, that we even know each other. So tell us a little bit about your background.
So my name's Leanne Butterworth, and I have Empathy First, so empathy training, and my background is in applied science, nonprofit philanthropy. So I've come to this point of trying to make workplaces happier and healthier and more effective through empathy.
Applied science, not-for-profit philanthropy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So human movement studies, psychology, sports psychology,
stuff.
People.
I'm just thinking about, anyway, a whole lot of other things associated with that. So really what we want to talk today about is, are your intentions getting misunderstood? Because from time to time we all get misunderstood, and some of us more than others. And I'm going to confess, I'm really ready for this one. Little bit of free advice always goes a long way. So thank you.
Oh, I'm always learning. I'm always getting it wrong and always learning.
I got to say, I've loved doing these shows because I learn so much from every single one of them. But I thought we'd start with who is this not for, because that is always a great place to narrow down who it is for. But let's start with who it's not for.
So I think you could probably tune out now if you're not interested in the bigger picture, if you're not interested in self-reflection and creating a happier, healthier workplace culture. Probably not for you, but or if you think that everything that you do and everybody around you is stubborn and everybody else needs to change, I'm going to say that this probably isn't the webinar for you, and that's okay.
Or if your surname ends in Trump. So
he could learn something.
I don't think he's watching. Now we're having a bit of a chat. We had a little bit of a history discussion before we even started about how we've come to this part of the world, because you were talking about how much really cool information is coming up in the field of psychology around empathy and customers and stuff. You had a far better way of putting that, and I forgot the exact words already.
Well, you can give us the history, but it really feels like we're at the turning point. It feels like we're at the turning point. So everything that's come before us has been about information and output and efficiency and technology and all those sorts of things, where I think we're at a turning point now where people are, they've got options in terms of where they work. People are starting to acknowledge that they have value, that their feelings have value, and then they want to feel as though they are valued and that they belong. And I think that's the bit that is going to push businesses into the future of becoming a preferred workplace, becoming renowned for having a good culture or a bad culture. These things are going to be really important as time goes on, where people start to choose where they work.
And it's not about pool tables and having beer on tap and all that sort of stuff.
No, it's not, because that's sort of the surface level stuff. So having yoga on a Friday is all well and good, but if you're still expecting people to work till 3 a.m., then it kind of falls flat. So there's
I was just hoping they'd start then instead.
No.
You can leave at 5. You just got to start earlier. Anyway, there was a business that I heard of back in the 80s that did have, hey, we want people to have great work-life balance. You can leave at 5. But they were getting people to start work at 3 o'clock in the morning so that they could leave at 5 and have dinner with their family. Yeah. Anyway, long story. Can't remember who it was, so it's not really that important. I don't even know why I brought it up, apart from it sounded like an interesting story.
There are companies in Sweden who have gone back to a 4-day work week and found that their productivity's gone up 20% and their revenue's gone up 20%. So there's
actually one of the small business gang actually does that. His staff all work 4-day weeks now, and productivity the business just exploded.
But that can't come from an intellectual place. That has to come from a place of caring about your staff and your business, and having boundaries as well. So all of that sort of wraps into a good workplace culture.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about this. So really it is about having your message match your intentions.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a nice simple way of putting it?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're a business owner and you're going, look, I'm doing all the things, I'm checking all the boxes, but my priority is still making a profit, or my priority is maximum output, and people are leaving, but we do yoga on a Friday, but you're kind of doing all these external things thinking that that's communicating the right message to your people, and it's not. It always has to come from a place of genuine caring before any of that will work.
Yep.
So there's a quote from Theodore Roosevelt that says, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I think that's the piece that's missing with a lot of businesses. They go, yeah, but I did all of these things and I said all of these things and they didn't work. And it's because the underlying, I guess, emotion and empathy hasn't quite hit the mark.
Yep. Cool. So what is empathy?
Empathy, right back to basics. So empathy is the ability to share and understand the feelings of another person and respond appropriately. Now, that doesn't mean if someone's depressed, you have to feel depressed, but you have to acknowledge that their feelings are real for them, and what they need is to feel heard and valued. So if your response is to make those individuals feel heard and valued, you will create connection, which then has positive impacts and positive effects.
Cool. Excellent. Now, to help people get their message across so that it does match their intentions, you've got 5 different situations to look out for.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, when you think about it, people can't hear your intentions. They can hear your words, they can hear your actions. And I mean, another thing Maya Angelou said, at the end of the day, people don't remember what you said, they remember how you made them feel. Now, if you're missing the mark and you are getting things a little bit wrong, there may be one of these things. Just keep an ear out. So a little bit of self-reflection, because the best way to build connection with somebody is self-reflection. So the first question to ask yourself is, are you a perfectionist? Now, people don't relate to perfection. People relate to vulnerability, and we're not going to go into these too deeply, but are you a perfectionist? And if you are, start to look at how you communicate that with other people and how they respond when you are in your perfectionist state. The second one, do you identify as a helper? A lot of people are like, I help, therefore I am. And somebody came and told me something and I helped. I gave them a solution. I gave them advice. Again, you'll create disconnection because you haven't made that person feel heard or valued. So really important that, yes, you might want to help, but the first step is listening. The third one is, do you put your value in your achievements? Now, this is a hard one because I do this and a lot of people do it. It's like, you push people to achieve things rather than really looking at what it is that they need, and you value the achievement over the trying, or you value, you know what I mean? You value the achievement over the effort. So do you put value in your achievements rather than your ability to connect? Because that can create disconnection if that's really where your focus is.
Cool. No, we have got a quick little question, but we'll come back to this question, but I want you to think about it while you're answering the other things. Do you think that some leaders will show a different side when they are stressed, and what is the impact on their teams? But we'll come back to that.
Definitely.
I want to give you time to think about a more considered answer.
Okay. So we'll do 4 and 5, and then we'll come back to that one.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, cool.
So number 4, you had.
So number 4 is you're uncomfortable with emotions, especially at work. You're very project over people. Feelings don't belong at work. Leave your feelings at the door. Sort of that, and that's kind of very 80s, 90s kind of thinking of project over people. But yeah, if you're uncomfortable with emotions, you're probably uncomfortable with them at home as well, but uncomfortable with big, strong emotions. And you probably have false beliefs about emotions in there somewhere. So there's a little bit of self-reflection that goes in there. And the last one, and not that it's a bad thing, but if you've led a charmed life, then you may be creating disconnection around you without realizing it.
So are you saying people are evil just because they've led a charmed life?
Not evil. Did I say evil? No, but they're the people who, I mean, we don't have lived experience people in offices for no reason. You find the most empathetic people have gone through some stuff, and they're the ones who sit and listen and can bring a different experience. Now, I'm not saying you've got to go out and experience some stuff, but
if you feel like it, join the human race.
Absolutely. Go India. No. But no, people who've led a charmed life often go, well, it worked for me, it'll work for anybody. This is what I did, you should try that. Look, so it's that little piece of empathy.
Yeah. And sometimes I find people that people that get stuff easily in a particular genre can be absolutely the worst teachers in that genre, because they just don't get that other people don't get it.
Absolutely. That if I can do it, anyone can do it, is actually really damaging to a relationship.
Look, and I've been guilty. I'm going to point out absolutely guilty. When it came to recruitment, I accidentally lucked onto how to recruit well, but then in building a recruitment company with really inconsistent results, because I just assumed that everyone would get it like I did. And so the training, we didn't have great training because I just thought everyone should get it.
Absolutely. And the trouble is a lot of really smart people fall into that trap, because smart people don't think, well, it's easy for me, it's hard for everyone else. Really smart people, especially a lot of like insecure smart people, go, well, it's easy for me, it must just be easy for everyone else. And that's another self-reflection piece of going, well, hang on, no. If you're the brighter crayon in the box, it can be harder for other people. And that's to do with anything, whether you bring circumstance, gender, race, anything, natural ability, natural talent. I mean, I've got a friend who goes, you should just be able to hula hoop. And I go, have you seen how I'm built? This doesn't hula hoop. But yeah, it's kind of bringing that awareness that, oh, okay.
I don't get hula hoops either. So look, I'm with everybody else that doesn't get hula hoops. Just I've never figured out that formula. I'm always wiggling in the wrong direction. Don't worry about that. Let's get on to more important stuff. Leanne, what do you think about leaders that show a different side when they're stressed? What is the impact on their teams? Hey, I'm dying to hear your answer to this, because I think everyone shows a different side when they're stressed, and if they don't, they're a little bit robotic. But we won't go into that.
Well, no. But one of the key attributes.
Sorry,
one of the key attributes. Well, I mean, there are three. And so according to Mark Bray, who is a leader that I've worked with in Melbourne, and we did a podcast on this, there are three attributes of really, really effective leaders. The first one's consistency. So your team need to know that you are consistent, that they're not tiptoeing on eggshells around you. Because if they have to navigate your mood, that is not conducive to a healthy workplace culture. People go, oh, what mood's in today? No. So that, again, self-reflection, stress management, you cannot bring that stuff and take it out on your team. That's a self-development activity for you. The second one's decisiveness. So being able to actually make a decision. Now, if you're coming to work stressed, overrun, and you can't make a clear, considered decision and communicate that, that doesn't help. And then the third thing is empathy, which we talk about ad nauseum. But yeah, that first piece of consistency, of really taking responsibility, and that's not having no emotions. I'm not saying having no emotions. You're allowed to say, hey guys, I'm struggling, I'm not having a good day today, or whatever it is. But you can't expect everybody around you to tiptoe around in case the boss is going to explode today. It doesn't work that way. And part of that is creating a culture in your environment, in your workplace, where if you are having a bad day, you've got such a good culture that everybody goes, oh, that's cool. Like, we get it. People are allowed to have off days, but it's not out of the blue.
Absolutely. So consistency, yeah, it's absolutely one of the most important things in leadership is that consistency. It's better to be bad or evil than to be inconsistent. It's just saying. Love how everything's evil today. I must just be having one of those days. Sorry about that. So, thanks. So, be cautious of being the perfectionist, being the helper.
Yeah.
Valuing achievement over effort.
Yeah.
Valuing projects over people.
Yep.
And then having a charmed life.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put the last one. Sorry, I couldn't find a better way for them.
Ultimately, what it boils down to is if you're trying to improve workplace culture, and that's actually really, really important, not just for the people because it's a nice thing to do, but it's good for your bottom line. It's good for your reputation and your brand reputation, stuff like that. It's actually really important. But if you're trying to do that as an intellectual exercise, it'll never work.
Someone didn't like what I said at one point. They've got, no, I don't know what I said, but probably wrong. Probably wrong, maybe joking. I apologise for whatever it was. I hope I don't have to come out and apologise publicly for it, but who knows? I may have to. So being respectful in the human way is absolutely really the heart of it.
Human first. Across the board, you have to be a human first and your role second. Absolutely.
Excellent. Whoever it was has acknowledged that I was joking. So, that was good. Look, I've loved this conversation, and you've got a course that you do where you help people write empathetically and or write to make sure that the right messages get across. Hey.
Yeah. So emails is actually really, really hard. It's really easy to come across as passive aggressive in an email without meaning to, and that's where people can't read your intentions. So this Friday, June the 5th, 9:30 in the morning, I've got a webinar on how to write emails with empathy. So it's actually an active workshop. So I'm keeping numbers really small because we're going to workshop a real email. We're going to rewrite it. with these rules that I give to show and build connection, and largely with your colleagues. So if you, especially now we're working at home, if you think of colleagues not having a good day or struggling, how do you reach out to them and connect? So yeah, and you can pay or not pay. I've made it an option, so it's a free webinar if you'd like it to be a free webinar.
How much is it if they're going to pay?
$29.
Or free, up to you. And you'll be running this more than just once. I do believe that you'll put this on to run
and we're going to have other topics as well.
And we will have other topics as well. So look, if you are free 9:30 on Friday even.
Yeah. So ideally, I mean, the question is, who is this workshop for? Ideally, anybody who communicates with colleagues or clients via email, and especially those, like I've just said, who maybe, if you think a colleague is not having a good time of it, or you want to ask them how they're doing, or you want to manage your project around somebody who might be struggling, and picking up the phone and calling them doesn't feel like an option, this is for you. Or if you just want to get better at rereading your emails and going, okay, is this going to connect with that person or not? So just a couple of tips and tricks that we're going to give you to sort of go, okay, good, I feel more confident sending them.
Absolutely. When we get off this show, then Leanne's going to put the link in this thread. She's going to find it and make sure that she puts a link in. It's actually on Brisbane Small Business on the directory. If you go to, what's your business name?
Empathy First. empathyfirst.com.au/events. Oh yeah, Empathy First, Leanne Butterworth. You'll find it. It's everywhere.
Do any of those searches, you'll find Leanne, you'll find the course, and you can sign up. She will put the link in below here in 2 minutes though. Leanne, thanks very much for your time. It's been really informative.
I hope so. Try to make the world a better place from my kitchen.
If everyone tried to make the world a better place from their kitchen, that would be awesome. Thanks very much for your time.